History. That's what the Red Raiders set last night against number 13 Iowa State in a comeback for the ages. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast, reminding you for the latest news and rumors in Texas Tech athletics. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got a great community here interacting with everyone, giving everyone's opinions. Be a part of it. It's the fastest growing one here on YouTube. And, well, hey, if you're a Texas Tech Red Raider fan, you know where to go. It's right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel. I mentioned history to start this video just a couple seconds ago, and it almost feels like an understatement, what I just said. This is what Texas Tech was up against last night against the Iowa State Cyclones with 12:38 remaining. Down 59-36. At that point, they had a 99.6% chance to win, did the Cyclones. However, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, led by Harmon and Kevin Obanor, tied the largest comeback by any team in Division I men's basketball this season, as well as tying the largest comeback to beat an AP-ranked team over the past decade, setting a record for the largest second-half deficit overcome to win a game in the history of the Big 12 and the Big 8. Let me just say that one more time. Setting a record for the largest second-half deficit overcome to win a game in the history of the Big 12 and the Big 8. 23 points. That's what the Red Raiders were down with 12:38 remaining last night. And I'll be honest, I didn't see it coming, but you got to give credit to these guys, first and foremost, that played on the floor. I thought Harmon said it best in the press conference. You throw X's and O's out the window. It's all about grit and determination and just execution on the floor, right? And that's where you give credit to the players. Listen, I've been hard on Harmon this year. I have, but last night was what he can do at an elite level. He really helped propel Texas Tech to a win that they had no business getting, right? You were down 23 with about 12 and a half minutes left. And you come back and legitimately set history. It's the biggest comeback win in Texas Tech program history. Before last night, it was 17 points. You added 6 to it. The grit, determination of this team cannot go understated. And now, I know a lot of people will say, RC, it's one win. They're still 1-8 in the Big 12. Yeah, but you got to admit it felt different, right? Like watching that game in the second half last night, especially the way that Texas Tech performed in the first half where it felt like nothing could go their way. They just got punched in the mouth repeatedly by Iowa State. But they stood up, took a second at halftime. Mark Adams chewed them out a little bit, according to Harmon and Kevin Obanor at halftime. They all stood up. This was the line that Harmon said in the post-game presser. Coach Adams asked who wants to play in the locker room at halftime. Everybody stood up. That's how you knew they were still in the fight. Now, were you going to come back and win that game? Who knows? History and the odds were definitely not on your side. But you did it, and you did it getting to the free throw line. You did it executing defensively with a full court press led by Jalen Tyson and his length and athleticism, leading a full court press that really just created fits for the Iowa State Cyclones. It was really something to watch because I'm going to remember this moment probably for a very long time in terms of, RC, what could potentially be the moment that Texas Tech season just turned on its head in a positive way? And I can't help but think it was a layup where Jalen Tyson got fouled. He had an and one, went from 16 to 14 points. He got hyped. He got the crowd involved. He got the bench involved. He got the baseline fans involved. And you could tell that at that point right there was a true moment where it felt like Texas Tech season could really turn on its head, or at least this game could, because the bench was involved and everybody else was too. But before I get too far into anything else, leave me your one word to describe Texas Tech's win last night against the number 13 Iowa State Cyclones at the pinned comment below. You know mine. It's historic, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down on the pinned comment below. All right. I've talked about him a little bit, but Harmon, man, field goals last night, 5 for 17, whatever. Got to the free throw line, made some clutch free throws. But the thing for me is, if you watch that second half of the basketball game and how Texas Tech basically had to run with reckless abandon and how much the ball was in Harmon's hands, just getting to the lane at will, setting up his teammates or getting to the rim, right? only having one turnover speaks volumes about his experience and really what he was trying to do last night. And Kevin Obanor talked about that a little bit as well in the post-game presser. But I think that's the thing that really stands out to me is when your senior leadership needed to step up for you. They did that and then some. Now, obviously, you had some guys around you like Jalen Tyson, Demarion Williams. Give him a lot of credit as well. Obviously, Lamar Washington, who is kind of had a showing out party last night where he kind of grew up before your eyes really, really quick. And that final lineup that Texas Tech had on the floor, I think we'll see more of in terms of just not having a big. Mark Adams said that Daniel Bacho was nursing some knee soreness in the second half, but honestly, it worked. What Texas Tech was doing, not having a big out there, it made Iowa State readjust. And Iowa State's used to playing with the big. What are you going to do? Have a big guard Kevin Obanor on the perimeter? It's not going to work. And I think Texas Tech will be using that small ball lineup a little bit more moving forward. You showed really what you can do with the full court press. It allows you, more importantly, defensively to have better rotations because you got guys out there with quicker feet, maybe not as much length, but those extra step or two can really make up for the lack of length. They showed that last night on terms of the closeout in the second half. You look at what Texas Tech did, and it was just, you didn't expect this every game from them, right? But I think you just got to give them credit for the grit and determination that they showed in this one, because I think that's what people were asking for most was, listen, we just want to see some of the emotion. There was some parts of it, right? But they're human. They were 0-8 in the Big 12. They were down a little bit, but to come back out against a team that, let's face it, beat the crap out of you in Ames by 34 points. And you were down 23 at one point with just under 13 minutes remaining. And you come back and complete the biggest comeback victory in Big 12 and Big 8 history. Either one, just in the Big 12 conference's history, dating back to the Big 8 as well. Let me repeat these stats one more time. Iowa State had a 99.6% chance of winning last night when they were up 23 with 12:38 remaining. Texas Tech tied the largest comeback by any team in D1 men's basketball this season, as well as tying the largest comeback to beat an AP-ranked team over the last decade. And they set a record for the largest second-half deficit overcome to win a game in the history of the Big 12/Big 8. I've been hard on Mark Adams this year. I've been hard on some of those guys in the locker room. So is Red Raider Nation to a degree. You better give them their damn flowers after this one. They earned it. This feels like they're getting that snowball ready, and who knows how big it goes. Kevin Obanor said in the press conference, you better damn well know that they're going to make the NCAA tournament. I don't know about that, but hey, I'm not questioning the man too much right now after what he did last night and what Harmon did last night either. An historic win in the 806 in a time where Texas Tech desperately needed it. You saw this team come together. You saw this coaching staff come together. But more importantly, you saw a fan base and a program come together, and it could pay huge dividends for Texas Tech moving forward. Again, an 80-77 victory in overtime for the Texas Tech Red Raiders to get in the win column in the Big 12 over the number 13 Iowa State Cyclones, who less than a month ago beat the crap out of you by 34 up in Ames, Iowa. It was a true test of will, determination, grit, anything you want to call it. The Red Raiders had all of it last night, and it was a huge win for this Texas Tech program moving forward, as now they have a week to prepare for Baylor. Maybe they have Fardaws Aimaq back for that game. Maybe they get Pop Isaacs back here in the next week or two. Who knows? But you're on the right track if you're Texas Tech, and last night really could pay huge dividends moving forward for the Red Raiders. I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm RC Maxfield. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want more Texas Tech news and rumor videos, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.